All right. Listen. Excuse my foot bending away. I'm just not trying to disclose my whole, the view. But I hope y'all can hear me. Let me talk close to the mic and stuff like that. Now, what I want to talk about, you can tell by the title. I'm not going too in depth. I'm not going too crazy. I'm not going too into it or whatever you want to say like that. But I do want to get into that topic of what you would consider, like, let's say, ejaculation or a full orgasm. Let me say specifically ejaculation, aka the emitting of the fluid, versus edging. You know what I'm saying? Whether you want to look at it as masturbation or, what I'm saying, versus edging, whether you want to look at it as regular sex versus tantra, it's all the same concept. What the reason why I say this is because if you ask me personally, like I said, I ain't gonna be too deep into it or too long, but I feel like edging and tantra themselves outweigh regular ejaculation. They outweigh regular sex, and the reason why I say that is because there's pros and cons to both. But edging itself, whether you with yourself or a partner, aka tantra, that's what they call edging. Edging with a partner is called tantra, and also caressa in certain Indian, but it's tantra, right? So edging though, edging itself is more immersive than just busting off or regular just having a regular sex session. And the reason why I say that is because edging is more immersive. You can edging you can expand the parameters of edging a lot more than you can with regular sex or regular masturbation. The reason why I say that is because, and I'm not getting explicit into how to do any of these things. I'm just talking about these things because from an energetic standpoint, edging is really endless, and I feel like a lot of people only get addicted to regular sex or masturbation. I feel like they gotta bust off all the time because they're trying to chase that first high. AKA when a man, like when you're a man or female, whatever, when you bust that nut, and that's what I mean by your first high, the emitting of the fluid. But when you realize tantra and edging, you start realizing that um, you can go to further heights through edging alone because edging allows for more expanded pleasure. So the same way you trying to find that orgasm by doing regular, just busting off or whatever, frivolously, whatever. That's all cool and all, but you can experience orgasm too through edging alone without having to emit the fluid, without having to emit the fluid all the time, the fluid, and you get to maintain your energy levels and keep your energy levels high. Because a lot of men these days lack that stuff because they overdo these things. This is why we have such an epidemic of weaker men or being deficient in a lot of nutrients, malnourished, lower testosterone, etc. And it's just as real as that. It's the truest thing. And so, what you have to understand is there's ways to go about these things. It's not that you have to go all out and far with either one of them. It's about understanding balance. But you want to understand that because you can still bust off and have fun. You can still live your life, but it's about understanding moderation in some sense because it's benefits to this. You see what I'm saying? There's a sense of healthy way to go about it. But back to my whole point, the reason why I feel like edging low key is better is because it's more immersive as an experience. There's more things you can do with it. When you're with a female, with a partner, or even if you're by yourself, there's actually more pleasure being gained through the process of edging. You see what I'm saying? Through when you just frivolously just busting off or having regular old hitting quick 2 3 minute sex or whatever like the average man lasts. When you actually can draw that out and even and like I said, even when you don't bust or you just circulate that energy, that chi energy within you, this energy, that vitality, organ energy within you, you be more powered. But the benefits of it is there's more routes you can go with edging. It's more immersive. It's more expansive. So edging is always going to be more expansive than just busting off. You see what I'm saying? Just watching something real quick and busting off with you with yourself or whatever. Because with edging, you can expand that, allow that energy to go back up and through you. And there's multiple different ways of orgasm you can have with edging. You can have just regular dry orgasms where you have a similar orgasm like you did where you regular busting off but without the fluid leaking so you maintain the energy. Then you have other versions where you can do have like full body orgasms. You can have with the, spiritual cosmic orgasms, all kind of different stuff, valley orgasm, all that, multiple different. Um, so it's by default it's more expensive. And a lot of people think that the regular just busting off or having sex is better because you get to experience that net or that ejaculation, which is power to it. But the reason that what you feeling is the orgasm itself. And the only reason why I feel like that is because y'all having people don't master certain levels of edging or tantra to be able to dive deep in those states without having to release or emit fluid or ejaculate. You see what I'm saying? So they don't master how to actually edge and get to certain points. You see what I'm saying? To experience that energy. But all in all, edging itself is a more pleasurable experience. It's more immersive, and it's something that has, like I said, it's just more expansive. There's more things you can do with it. There's more pathways you can go about it. There's more pleasure you can experience in it. It's more ways to go about it when it comes to that than just with the basic ejaculation. Because basic ejaculation is actually kind of like outdated because you can only do so much with it. And so if you are gonna do it, if a person's not at least doing it in a way where it can be a more immersive experience, or you're tapping into something greater, so you still can have full body orgasms while experiencing the regular mundane busting off, whatever. That's different. But the average person is not doing that. So by default, tantra and all that stuff and it automatically always gonna outweigh regular just busting off and regular sex by default, because like I said before, the tantric way, the edging itself is more immersive. You see what I'm saying? Um, Especially when you don't bust off or release, it's more immersive. There's more ways to go about it. It's many different, much more pleasure you can gain from it. It's endless, and there's multiple different types of orgasmic pathways you can experience besides just regular busting off. Like I said, when you addicted to busting off, you really only addicted to that first high. It's more like a mental addiction thing. But once you get past that, you start realizing you can experience that same pleasure and even more. You know what I'm saying? But you just have to know how to go about it. That's the problem. You got to know how to go about it. With that being said,